Hi, thank you for joining me today for 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life. This is round 12, and today's sketch, which you can see in the top right hand corner, is designed by Jennifer Gagne. And you can see it's got 4 squares in the middle. I'm substituting one of those squares with a place for my title, and I'm going with 3 smaller photos. So first of all, I've pulled out this Tim Holtz mask, and I'm going through it with my, I think it's my antique linen or scattered straw ink pad. And this is one of the masks where you can reposition it. It has slight indentations on the blank spaces so that you can double matte if you like. Can you see there? So it creates a really fine starburst, and I love the look of that. So I'm just going to mirror it now on this side, and again overlap it so that you've got lots and lots and lots of small starbursts. A lot of this is covered by the photos in the end, but you do still see it peeking out, and I really love the effect it has on the page. So you just turn the stencil over and you match up the inked parts with the indentations, and then you start stenciling again. So these photos are from our trip to Boston back in 2015. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll have seen this trip plenty of time. These photos are fairly nondescript. We stayed at Crown Point in Provincetown, a really nice hotel, and these were just some snaps of the inside. There were some lobsters in the lobby and just off the lounge and the stairs going up to the main hotel. So I wanted to document these, but they're very dark photos and they're not really that important, but I definitely wanted to get them into our album. So this is a great way of doing it, using multiple photos on one page. So just using Vicki Boutin's print shop for this page, I wanted to try and lift the colours a bit because, like I say, they are very dark. So going for some of the brighter and lighter colours in the collection, I start by matting the photos with this herringbone black and white, and I also use a pink, just scraps of the pink which is on the reverse, just to create a slight border around each of the photos without being too big, because I don't want them to take up too much space on the page. They're already, as I say, covering a lot of that starburst that I've just created, so try not to hide that too much. So while I'm sticking these all down, please do check the description box down below. I shall add Jennifer's details down there, and also the playlist that Christie created for us all, so that you can see everybody else's video who's playing along in this lovely hop. There are some amazing creatives joining us, and they will be adding videos, as I am, every single day. So almost there with the matting now, and then once that's done I can start working on the sides of the page. And there we go. Now I'm happy with the positioning. I can first of all add my title, and I'm coming in with these beautiful Max stamps from Elise Studio. This is one of her new alphabet designs, and I love it. It reminds me a little bit of the Florence alphabet stickers from Bella Boulevard, which you'll have seen me using before. Love those too. So I'm just going in with my archival ink and one letter at a time to write out Crown Point, which is the name of the hotel that we stayed at. And now that title's down, I can get the photos positioned down around that to create that mat of 4 squares that Jennifer's got on her sketch. So I'm using these Sticks 2 foam pads, the 25mm foam pads that you get on a roll. They're really handy for mounting photos. And now I'm coming in with this beautiful star paper. And again, I'm going to use the reverse of it as well as the front. It appears that I've been very lazy on this layout, just using the first paper that I grab and using both sides. That's what I did for the mats on the actual photos as well. So I tear down to get the star paper and then just trim off that torn down edge from the other paper to create the layer underneath. So I'm not having to tear twice and waste paper. And they layer up really nicely. And now I'm going to use a trick that I've seen other YouTubers doing, and I'm just going to wet the edges with my paintbrush and water and curl those up, because it just makes them stay in the position that you curl them up to once they're dry. So that's a great tip if you enjoy curling your edges but worry that they flatten very easily. That just keeps them a little bit more in place, if you like. So just sticking this down with my wet glue. I find that the easiest when I'm doing things like this, because you've got time to move them around and make sure that you can slip them exactly to where you want into position, where you want them to go, and particularly when you're adding the second piece and you want to slip it underneath that first one. So just slipping that under, and then I can curl up the edges. Undecided whether you're better curling up first and then sticking, or sticking then curling. So you'll see me doing both methods as I stick these 4 pieces down. But you can see those rolled edges will hold now once that water dries, and it creates a really nice texture to the page. They're only curled up ever so slightly, and with the dimension that you've got on the photos with the foam pads underneath them, that's fine in the page protector as well. And I will be adding a bit of chipboard and things just to finish embellishing the page. So almost there now. That's the third one down, just this last one. Getting a bit bold with my water painting there. Only takes a second. And yeah, I think by this point I decided that you're probably best curling up the edges before you stick it down. So, and what I like about this, it also hides those white. You still have a little bit of the white showing, but not quite so much, the white edges. And there we go. I love the border that creates with the 2 strips down either side. I've done that once before from a sketch, and I really do like the effect, so I must remember that in the future. Now these are really old Adorn It letter stickers that I've got in my stash, and I'm just writing Provincetown underneath Crown Point, which is where we were. And now coming in with the chipboard pieces to embellish a bit. So this vase with the flowers in I thought would work because it's showing pictures of the lounge. So I added that, and then just continuing to add bits and pieces around. Adding foam behind that word things, just so that it sticks properly with it overlapping the photo. Just trimming off the excess bits that are overhanging. And then going on to the 6x12 sticker sheet to see if there's anything I can see on here. And I like this little phrase that says just right, because that's exactly what the hotel was. It was just perfect for our needs for that night. And then the puffies. And I like this little puffy that says awesome. So just trying to work out if I can fit that in somewhere. And in the end, I decide that it's going to be added to that top right-hand cluster there. Of course, I find something that I want to pop underneath the chipboard and everything that I've stuck down. So I'm just having to pull those up to add this note paper. I just feel like it adds a grounding piece behind all that. So just wanted to add that down. Eventually get it into position, and then try and remember exactly how I had this vase. I couldn't remember whether it was overlapping the photo or underneath, but of course it was underneath. And just ruffling up those notebook edges and then gluing that down. And also this label, I thought that looked quite nice along the bottom, so just adding that too. So now I'm going to work on that top cluster. So I peel out this chipboard piece. I peel off some of the backing because it's very, very thick. And I'm just going to use the puffy word awesome to cover the whole so that it just becomes a nice chipboard circle at the top there. I didn't really want it as a tag today. And then I cut off this banner that says just you and me and add that above. So I'm just going to add a little bit of foam underneath the left-hand side just so that it doesn't dip down. And also this gold heart, which looks nice there. So just trimming off the top, just so that it makes it part of the layout and isn't just a circle hovering at the top. And here I am adding that foam before gluing all of that down. Just making sure that that's in the right place. And then having a look to see what else I've got in these potpourri pieces. These are a couple of the washi tape stickers, which I really enjoy. So just adding those below the word things, which I do stick on it. I've just noticed, I'm looking at the layout, it's a little bit crooked, so I shall change that so that it's straight again. And just getting those washi pieces stuck down. The wording doesn't make sense, but they just add a bit of something to the layout. So the top one says the culture of flowers and the bottom one says kaleidoscope pictures. I don't think that really matters though, I just liked how they looked. So I'll add this bulldog clip to the top, again just to add something. So once again adding some foam pads just to hold it up in line with the photos. And then I'm just going in with some of the little scattering pieces from the puffy stickers. These are just little dots with gold rings on them, and they just look really cute. That was a gold star. And they just bring something to the layout, another gold star there. And then of course the date. And now my journaling, so I just write, inside our hotel for the night, lobsters in the lobby, such a gorgeous place, shame it was just one night. So finally I'm going to come in with some splattering with that same Distress Oxide ink, just to add another little bit of texture to the layout. And that's today's done. Thank you so much for joining me for day 5. I shall see you again tomorrow for day 6. Thanks again. Bye.